How long does it take to sell a home in Santa Cruz now in 2025? Well, this video is especially timely because days on market are getting longer. That means homes are sitting on the market longer, waiting for the buyers to arrive. Buyers have taken a back seat a bit because of interest rates or economic uncertainty, and we are not seeing as many people at the open houses. We're not seeing as many agents at the broker tours. It is taking longer to sell a home. So I'm going to talk about timing today, from listing to moving. And then I'm going to have a bonus at the end about how long do open houses really last? How long do they need to last? And how long do showings last? And how long do they need to last? How long do you need to leave your home to accommodate those events? So first, you're going to sign a listing agreement with your agent or me. And that basically gives me a contract to contact vendors and people on your behalf to set up any work that needs to be done or completed. Now, maybe your home doesn't need a whole lot and you only need a couple weeks. So, okay, so you're at a couple weeks, or you need longer. I have had listings where I had one last year and this year. I listed it within a couple days. I had the photographer out, we were up, and then we did the inspections as we went because the homes didn't need really anything to prep them, and the seller opted not to stage. We're not going to get into staging here. So how long it takes your home to get ready depends on how much it needs. So if you're thinking, well, I do want to sell, I'm not ready to list with an agent yet, but you want to get an idea of the work that you need to do, you can call me and I'll go over it with you and give you an idea of what you need to do, and then we can do the listing later. But that would still be time spent thinking about selling your home, and it would add to the time it would take to actually sell it and get ready. When you think about it, think about any work that you think needs to be done and when you want to get that done. It may be that you decide you want to sell next year, so then you would get a list of those things that you need to do and work on them. We had a seller that do that. We were talking to him all last year, and there were things that he needed to do, and then we listed this year. Okay, you're on the market. We got it. Yay! Your sign's up in the yard, and there's fresh flowers on the table. Maybe there's cookies baking. How long does that take? Well, now we're seeing anywhere from 20 days up to 100 days. A home will sit on the market before it gets serious interest and get an offer. Okay, you might want to add that in. So we have a couple weeks to prep and get ready, maybe a month. And then we have maybe, let's just say 2 months on the market. We're at 3 months, but you finally get an offer. And they are cash. And they're like, we're great. We want to take the house and we're going to give you cash. But then they say they want 30 days. And you're like, well, you're cash. Why can't you move it along sooner? I will tell you, it's really interesting. It doesn't matter how people are paying. I mean, you get paid the same, right? Cash, loan. It all comes to you in the same form of money. But even cash buyers will take up to 30 days to close because they are either moving out of their rental, or they are, moving from across the country, which we have a lot here in our area, or maybe even from out of the country. And we have people kind of moving around, and they need time to do all that. So, okay, we're at a month to get ready, 2 months on the market. We're at 3. Now you're looking at another month before you actually close escrow and give those keys to the buyer. So, best case scenario, really, on the shortest time frame, your house is perfect. The stager had time, and the photographer and the home inspector, and it all lined up. I mean, you're really looking at a minimum of maybe 3 months. That's why we always say in January to start getting ready so you can be on in time for the spring market, which we blasted through. The spring market was not what we'd hoped it would be this year. The summer may turn a little busier as a result of that. We're not sure at this point. So the bonus, open house timing. What can you expect for that? So I have changed my strategy. I make the open houses shorter. I do about 1 to 3. My partner does 1:30 to 3:30. And we have shorter open houses, but the window is just about the same. But to a seller or yourself, it's still all afternoon. You have to prep your house to get ready. You have to find a place to go, and maybe it's a movie or a place where you can hang out with the dogs. I mean, it could still turn into all afternoon. So maybe a shorter open house would make you more comfortable on those days where you have to kind of find a place to go. So think about that. Also, for showings, it depends on how big your house is. So if you have a small condo, you can expect that maybe about 15 to 20 minutes for them to get an idea of if that's the property that they like. Or for a bigger home, you could expect up to 45 minutes. I held an open house this weekend and it was a very, very big house with a big property, and the buyers were there for 45 minutes. So if they were there with their agent, you could expect that showing would be about 45 minutes. So larger house, about an hour. Smaller house, I would give about a half hour. And I understand trying to find a place to go, and if you have pets and dealing with all that. So have a discussion with your agent about what works for you, and maybe you can find a place to go on the weekends for open houses, but only on Saturdays or only on Sundays. Have those conversations up front, so when those timelines come to you, all of them, from listing to moving, open houses and showings, talk about those and think about those things. I mean, you don't want to get stressed out. My next video is about the stress of selling and how hard it is sometimes just to leave your home and prep it all the time. It gets taxing. And I'm going to go over that in the next video. So I hope this helps you. We're moving into a different market. It is taking longer, but homes are selling. It will take a little longer on a bigger house to get the buyer to understand your property. And if you have a smaller house, not so much. But it's a good thing to keep in mind. It will keep the stress level down if you have some expectations. And that's what these videos are for. Please let me know if you have any questions or I can help you in any way. My information is below, and I will see you in the next video.